1987. It's amazing to me that we still have 4 or 5 90-year-olds, I think. Yeah. Eddie and Jack. A lot of time to sleep today because we've done a video for 3 hours. We're going to start in just a minute, I promise. Let's go. It sounds like you're all so happy to see each other, but it's time.
Good morning. Welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Today is Sunday, November 2nd, and I'm your Jackie Buckley, your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ethnicities, ages, and backgrounds, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are here to celebrate, affirm, and to put into action the interconnected living mission of the Unitarian principles that you'll find printed on the back of your order of service. We broadcast and archive our services on YouTube. And to be put on our mailing list or to find out more about us, please go to our website at tcuuc.org. And just a reminder, if you haven't already, to please silence your cell phones. And I don't know if we have any visitors with us today. or those of you who have been away and are joining us again, welcome. And now for our announcements that are printed in the order of service you got today and in the Friday newsletter. There are events and all the details listed there. And just a few to mention, please join us on the first and third Tuesdays at Poppleton Creek Park at noon for our brown bag lunch. This park is just down the street, adjacent to the dog park. And I believe that Truman wants to talk about an update on the Social Justice Committee.
Hi, Truman Dunn. Just a quick update from the social justice team. First of all, you may have read it in the update, but we wanted to thank the congregation for the month of October for the focus on supporting women's health along with the Palm Beach congregation. I was blown away. We raised $804 in 4 Sundays. So. And 8 of us went yesterday to the Palm Beach congregation from 1 to about 2:30. We thought we'd have to be there till 3, but the fellowship hall was full. On a Saturday afternoon, beautiful weather, and close to 50 people, I think, were there. And 8 of us from the congregation here represented us well, I think. And I got a note this morning from the leadership, and we assembled 50 backpacks to you have for the emergency medical assistance for women who have to travel out of state, including a personal note of encouragement and other supplies in the backpacks, and then over 600 smaller period packs for the period pantry, and those go to the Girls Club and to a couple of homeless shelters. So thanks again for the month of October for that support. And then just a quick update on the Compassion Bench program. The first Compassion Bench built by Project Lift that this congregation sponsored along with St. Mary's Episcopal and Stewart Pentecostal have the bench, and there's a picture up on the wall now. The principal sent me this photograph of the students painting the bench. They will paint the bench and then put some themes, butterflies, rainbows, how would you feel, or something like that on it. You'll notice the 4 girls there, 86% of all the students at Port Salerno are Central American, and 9 buses come from Golden Gate. So I think this fits in well with our emphasis for the year of focusing on one thing and doing it pretty well, and that's immigration issues. So a lot of these are migrant families. So thanks again for the support for that, and aren't they cute?
Janet Grote's going to speak to us.
More social action. Social action would like us to march to the same drummer, or shall I say color. So we're doing these t-shirts. They're performance fabric, so the sweat won't bother us too much as the heavy cotton that we had before. Say, this is the color. Knock your socks off. Safety green. So there's no choice in color. The women's have a scoop neck. The men's are, of course, like this. I got a few samples of the sizes. This is the men's extra large. I have to return those, so if you can take a look at them today, they're going to be out on the table. And try on what you can. The women's, we have small, medium, and large samples. You probably need some bigger ones, so you have to guess a little bit on these things. But $30, and there's a little bit of fundraising in there. I don't believe the social justice has a dedicated budget, so it's a little bit of fundraising in there, and maybe allow us to nope, to.
Make sure you get a budget request in for next year.
Okay, thanks, yes.
What will be printed on them?
Oh, I'm sorry, there's signs out there. I've got some extra flyers also. Yeah, but basically, it's going to say Treasure Coast Unitarian across the front. The back will have our new symbol, and it'll say Unitarian Universalist.
Thanks, Janet. And I want to be sure and mention this Friday at 5 p.m. we have the Woodstock Revisited. It's in your bulletin, all the information there. 5 o'clock, bring your own drinks and snacks, and the only cost is a trip to the tip jar, and I believe the proceeds from that are going to Kai Anderson, who is the bass player, and he is wonderful, so hope you'll all support that. And after the service, please join us for refreshments in our social hall. And a big, big thank you to everyone who's helped today. It's more than half of you here, probably. Jackie Robbins on cello, Sandy Craig on piano, our choir, our greeters, and I believe it was Stan Forrester, and Janet Grote. Our ushers today are going to be Jim Rose and Jay Lucas. Our tech elf is Karina Poloni, and our backup tech support is Alistair Forrester. Our hospitality team today is Joanne Leone, Marguerite Gregory, who'd been away and back today, going strong, Florence Treacle, and Roger Head helped this morning, Regina Wood, Paul Meneses, Jim Rose, Charlie Louise is greeter, and if I haven't mentioned your name, thank you too. And today in the pulpit is our own Bob MacDonald. And now for our prelude. Thank you, Jackie. And now for our chalice lighting. Words by Paul Sprecher. We light this chalice in memory of those who have gone before us, in memory of the courage of those who have struggled for freedom, the persistence of those who have struggled for justice, and the love of those who've built beloved communities to carry on the light of hope. And for our opening words, I've been thinking a lot lately about recipes. When it was last Sunday, when we all brought food in, or coming Thanksgiving, and even our event this afternoon. And unexpectedly, I came across a recipe at the UUA site by Margaret Weiss, and it's her recipe for resilience. And she says, 1 part courage, 2 parts tears of failure and doubt, 1 part deep listening, 1 part each of both silence and laughter, a dash of trust, a pinch of wonder, and a heaping scoop of naps and snacks. In a separate bowl, mix together family, friends, and those who challenge you to be your best self, and those with whom you disagree. Add slowly to the larger pot, add a bay leaf, or whatever it is that bay leaves do, and let it simmer for as long as you need, which is often longer than you realize or anticipate. Keep the heat at an even temperature, hot enough to cook throughout, but not so much that it burns the bottom. It can be served at room temperature, warm or even cold if necessary. Serve alongside your favorite soft blanket, dog, cat, or other soft item. Make often, share with others, and hold on to leftovers. You'll need them after a long day that challenges your soul. Margaret Weiss. And now for our Forks Tim, would you stand if you like? For number 29, Joyful, Joyful. And now let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
The reading is 722 by Stephen Spender. I think continually of those. I think continually of those who were truly great, who from the womb remembered the soul's history through corridors of light where the hours are suns, endless and singing, whose lovely ambition was that their lips, still touched with fire, should tell of the Spirit, clothed from head to foot in song, and who hoarded from the spring branches the desires falling across their bodies like blossoms. What is precious is never to forget the essential delight of the blood drawn from the ageless springs, breaking through rocks in worlds beyond our earth. Never to deny its pleasure in the simple morning light, nor its grave evening demand for love. never to allow gradually the traffic to smother with noise and fog the flowering of the Spirit, nor the snow near the sun in the highest fields. See how these names are fetid by the waving grass and by the streamers of white cloud and whispers of wind listening sky. The names of those who in their lives fought for life, who wore at their hearts the fire's center. Born of the sun, they traveled a short while towards the sun, and left the vivid air signed with their honor. Stephen Spender. Now our matters of joy, sorrow, concern, we invite you to share yours, knowing that you are heard and supported. Let me begin first. Where is Marguerite?
She's hiding.
Back there. Oh, there you are. There you are. Marguerite is back. She went for a morning walk and ended the day in the hospital. Is walking dangerous to our health, Marguerite? Please keep walking carefully. Somebody suggested that might have been self-inflicted to avoid a lot of busyness going on around here. But you know, if you know Marguerite, that's not true. Jack, are you coming up on a big one?
Yes.
What number?
94.
Didn't we have an agreement that on each birthday, since you're really a historian, you would give the sermon? Oh. I have to try. When is your actual birthday, Jack? When is your actual birthday? 28th of this month? Oh, I thought it was sooner. Okay, it may come up again. All right, would anybody with a better memory want to get up and tell us their joy, sorrow, or whatever?
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share with you my experience of what I've been going through feeling hopeless. So I have decided to only watch hopeful movies. And I watched Sunday night, the Ed Sullivan Story, incredible. If you are feeling hopeless, please. It's historic, it's incredible. And then Jane Goodall. She's been interviewed prior to her death, but last night I also fell asleep to her book, which is very different than her interview. Very inspiring, and the messages are incredible. So those are my joys for this week, and I just wanted to share it with as many people. At Thanksgiving, I intend to at least watch one of those with my family. So I would suggest maybe you do the same.
Anyone else? Yes, Shari.
Good morning, all. It was my joy to celebrate Halloween with my grandchildren, who had some really interesting costumes. One who decided she wanted to be a housewife. And she did a pretty good job of it. One was a blow-up dragon who was about 10 feet tall, and she had to duck under everything. And then my grandson, of course, was his typical ghoul, and I was a black kitty cat. But it was so joyful, and I capped the evening off by watching the movie, The Canterbury Ghost, which is an English tale of a haunted castle in England, and you must watch it. It's so well done. Thank you.
I'm a little tired. Good morning, I'm Marguerite Gregory. I want to thank everybody for your texts and cards And I'm doing well. As my kids say, I'm a tough cookie, so here I go. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for helping me set up. Yesterday, the group that I collected, Lou, Judy, Geraldine, Shari, and I'm pretty sure I missed somebody, and today's help. It's a big thing that we want to do for Pam, and we want to do it nicely. So thank you very much, everybody.
Start off by telling us your name, please.
My name is Allison. It was Declan's birthday yesterday.
This is Tia. Always welcome.
Thank you, as long as I keep it short. And personal. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate correct mic procedure because I talked to Debbie Harris, who lives in Panama. I had to go to see my radiology doctor this week, and I took her along with me on my phone, so we had a lot of time to talk. And she watches us every day, every Sunday, from Panama, and she has a very hard time hearing us unless we're eating the mic, basically. And the same goes for that mic.
Thank you, Tia.
You're welcome. She says to say hello to everybody.
Anyone else? Well, I'll just say this, I'm going to say it later too. When I told Pam that Deb was leaving and taking Francisco with her, Pam reacted, "But he's our handyman." Oh well. Anybody else? We always move one for people we don't say out loud, but we all have people in our minds and hearts, so this is for them. Thank you, Jackie. For the meditation, number 586 in the back of the hymn, I'll just read it. It's Abraham Lincoln, The Idea of Democracy. As labor is the common burden of our race, so the effort of some to shift their share of the burden onto the shoulders of others is the great, durable curse of the race. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. Whatever differs from this, to the extent of the difference, is no democracy. Our reliance is on our love for liberty. Our defense is in the spirit which prizes liberty as the heritage of all people in all lands everywhere. Destroy this spirit, and we have planted the seeds of despotism at our own doors. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves and cannot long retain it. Why should there not be a patient confidence in the ultimate justice of the people? Is there any better or equal hope in the world? Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith, let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it. Abraham Lincoln. And now moments of silence. And now Spirit of Life, 123. We hum it once, we sing it once, standing or seated. The choir is growing. That's a joy. And now our morning offering. We hope you experience generosity, and I assure you we need to experience yours. And now my volunteer ushers. Just one offering today, guys. I've mentioned that we're going to be starting on Tuesday a circle in this room, that circle over there. of sharing about the learnings from grief. This year, I've mentioned many times, has been like no other I've experienced, with such large presences in our church community leaving us. And then we all have other parts of our lives. And I know about some, I certainly know about mine. So anyway, Tuesday at 11, we'll leave promptly at 11:50 to honor the lunch obligation for those that make it their obligation or joy. And since Pam was behind that, I will certainly remember to let people get to the park, which is an easy drive or walk from here. This day has come to mean a lot to me for many years, really for decades. I don't know what the word angel means, but I think the biblical word is rooted in messenger, a messenger. Today, a rough equivalent would be news announcer, but not if you only listen to announcers you agree with. In the Bible times, it wasn't that kind of announcer. We tend to listen to ones we mostly agree with. We may be missing something. The phrase, "our better angels," has been popularized by the historian John Meacham, but Google's AI takes it back to Lincoln's first inaugural address in 1861. The phrase suggests that people have an innate capacity for good that can be invoked to overcome our baser impulses and solve problems with grace and reason. A little more from Google's AI. Lincoln used it to appeal for national unity, urging Americans to set aside their differences and find common ground by appealing to their better nature. It's a call to choose reason and kindness and compassion over passion and conflict. Now, this is from Meacham, from his book, Soul of America. I know what has come before us is to be armed against despair. If the men and women of the past, with all their flaws and limitations and ambitions and appetites, could press on through ignorance and superstition, racism and sexism, selfishness and greed, to create a freer, stronger nation, then perhaps we too can right wrongs and take another step toward that most enchanting and elusive of destinations, a more perfect union. To do so requires innumerable acts of citizenship and private grace. It will require, as it has in the past, the witness and the bravery of reformers who hold no office and who have no traditional power, but who yearn for a better, freer way of life. Now, today, especially today, I need a sense of the larger frame of life that holds me and you with a throbbing purpose, that reminds me and you that the migraines of the moment are passing, and an arc that runs through our faith traditions, and big, humble people like Lincoln are guiding us with their message, press on, plow on, don't give up. Angels. How about saints? Do you know any in this room? No, don't think of me. Don't. Yes, you know some in this room. How many saints have we known? I've known many, but when I called them that, Oh, no, I'm not. Just people living by the light, the saints they had been given to the best of their ability. And it showed and it shone. It struck me that saints I have known both believed in themselves and more than themselves. They had the greater good down. I read somewhere not long ago that we are all better off if we realize we are all mixed bags. Do you know any mixed bags in this room other than the one you're looking at and possibly listening to? Martin Luther said we are all combinations of saint and sinner. Those words picked up too much baggage to be helpful. I only use the word saint, I think, on this day, and I don't think I use the word sinner anywhere. Should I? All right. Mixed bag is easier somehow. If we see ourselves and others that way, we're all a mix, maybe a better shot at more forgiveness, less judging, and healthier relationships. Mixed bag, that's true of me, my friends, and my heroes. That light bulb went on with some enjoyable reading I've mentioned before. I enjoy reading more from history than I do from theology. That may reflect the trend I'm going in myself, history. But when I discovered James Reston a couple years ago, his memoir, which is really a chronicle of the last century, which I occupied much of, it really went on like a light bulb. And in part, I thought of it because my best friend in school, Ralph, and I competed for a teacher's attention, and the teacher mentioned that we should all read James Reston in the New York Times. And then I discovered that Ralph would come to class. Before class, he would approach the teacher and say, "Hey, Mr. Broderick, did you read what James Reston said in the Times?" I was being outclassed. Ralph's family could afford the New York Times every day. We didn't get the New York Times in our household. Reston's autobiography, which that memoir was, started with him in the London bunkers awaiting the German Luftwaffe. His commentary on how the Truman administration planned the post-war rebuilding of Europe was priceless. I was particularly interested in his assessment of the Secretary of State. Who can tell me Truman's first Secretary of State? Who? Jimmy Burns. Jack, who was it? Well, Marshall had the plan. I thought it was Dean Acheson to start. I'm not sure. I think he... Was he the first one of Truman?
Well, I think he might have been a holdover from Roosevelt. I'm not sure exactly when he resigned, but that's my nomination.
Threadsy, do you want to come up here and finish this sermon? I assure you you'll have opportunity at some point. Well, the one that Reston kept talking about was Dean Acheson, or Acheson, however you say it. Acheson has somewhat been an unsung hero. I went on to read in Reston of Acheson's advice to the presidents he served under, somewhat like Kissinger in his administrations and afterwards. Acheson was called a good bit by people helping to formulate our American foreign policy. Atchison encouraged the French to stay in Southeast Asia and encouraged JFK to do the same, from which I concluded our historical heroes are mixed bags. He had great insight about rebuilding our enemies in Europe, Germany and Italy, and of course Japan. Great insight about that. Whatever the architects of NATO and the UN had in mind, and for that matter, whatever the architects of the US Constitution had in mind, the world seems to have drifted to an unimaginably uncertain future. Who are our saints today? It has to be people like us, people who are just doing the best we can by the lights we have. And of the hundreds I've known, that's all I could really say about them. I was lucky to know them because they were doing the best they could by the lights they had. And now I'm going to conclude this service while Threadsy works on the rest of this sermon. And the way I'm going to work on and conclude the rest of the service is we're going to sing the first two verses of the last hymn, For All the Saints. And then I'm going to ask you all to be seated. I'm not there yet, but thank you for reminding me. What he said, where was I, Jim? Oh, yeah. I'm going to ask you to be seated after you sing the two verses. Then over here, I'm going to ask any who want to say a name out loud to say a name out loud and just the relationship. And we'll go around the room like that, remembering those whose lights we have lost in this year or so, but also whose lights and lives we have kept. What was that number again? 103, thank you. Yes, hymn 103, you all know this. The first two verses, let's stand as we're able and sing. Please be seated. And now I'll name for all of us the saints among us we lost this year. And if I have forgotten any, you'll add them later, I'm sure. But certainly Pamela Joy Corbin, Dr. William Falk. Who else? It'll come to me. We'll start over here. Please stand the first, okay, the second, whoever wants to speak in this side, please stand and say a name if you want to. We lost our dear sweet cat, Heather. We know that's real to so many. Go ahead. The center part, start and go ahead.
William Theodore Theophilus T.D. Chunk Mason.
Robert Preston Slacum, father of our children.
Yeah, Mary Ann had a dear friend from sixth grade, oh, I'm sorry, and named Months, died on Good Friday. And then she had a good friend that she did the theological study with, who was a Dominican priest, Fran Dyer. And another friend of ours for many years, Harold Gorsico, three dear friends.
Yes, the row in front, yeah. Speak up louder so people can.
Robert Resnick, second cousin, I think, a great person, like the mayor of Burlington, Vermont.
Anyone in the row behind? The rows behind. Yes. Yeah. Anyone else in the middle section? Over here.
Mama Valentina Kolova, my first mother-in-law, who is a Jim.
In the same month as Bill Flock, my dear friend, Dr. Kathy Lytell, who was my primary care as well as an enormous healer of the whole area. And my neighbor and dear friend, Luke Donald.
Now, yes, along the back. Mhm.
I have three, my wonderful neighbor, Martha. You know what, I never thought about the last name. This is my name. My friend Linda Olivo and my friend Sean Lopez.
Okay. I'm back wall over here.
My friend Jane.
Sally Jane Harrison, friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Over here are musicians.
My dear friend Bonnie Green, who actually, her service brought me back to this church.
Yeah.
I have too many names for this year, along with the last friend passed away was Helen Demetrius, and I believe her last job was head of the Hudson Institute. So she's a brilliant woman and a wonderful friend. I was going to be my interpreter in Greece, but I'll have to go to this.
Okay.
My mother was born there, and Helen wanted to take us back over there.
Pat.
On behalf of Beth Holt, who's not here today, her dear husband, Don.
I'm sorry, whom did you say?
On behalf of Beth Holt,
Oh, yes, okay.
her husband, Don.
Georgina Shuga, mother-in-law of the guitarist.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, who are you again?
Ann Borlotti and Donald Hulk, family, friends, and extended family members.
And John Fox. I don't know if he was said aloud by anyone, but Ruth's husband, one of the originals from here. Could you play one verse of the hymn, and then we'll sing the last verse of the hymn? We'll just listen to it quietly as you play it. Barbara Peskin. Because of those who came before, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizons of their vision, we too dream. I forgot to mention, if you're not going to be here for the service at 12:30, you'll see a cart out there with piles of architectural digests. Pam saved them for decades. She said to me, I can't throw them out. Can you find a home for them? So if you're not going to be here to hear me yell at people if they don't take any, please feel free to take a few with you. I have just as many still in my office needing to come out. A souvenir from Pam.
For those of you,